on CBS Sports. Next Sunday on CBS Sports, Bud Wilkinson's St. Louis Cardinals collide with the Philadelphia Eagles. The New York Giants go south to tackle New Orleans. San Francisco squares off against Washington. Detroit bumps heads with Chicago. And Tampa Bay clashes with Green Bay. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
All right, back live in New York. I'm Brent Musburger, and Jane the Greek is over here screaming, they got to put Kilmer in the game. But listen, what I want you to do right away is get even with that scoreboard for me.
All right, let me try it again. We have Chicago and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay leads 19-16. That's the seesaw game going for you out there. St. Louis seemed to fall apart in the second quarter, and the New York Jets now lead 23-10. And this game is very important because Dallas can pick up a full game on the Washington Redskins. The New York Giants 17, Washington 6. This one, I don't believe it. Looks like a baseball game. Buffalo leading 5 to Cincinnati's nothing.
Speaking of not believing, folks, how about that one? The bet of the day. The Lions 31, San Diego 7 in the third quarter. Green Bay and Minnesota, tough defensive game in Bloomington. Tied at 7 in the second quarter. And there's the game you're watching at the half as Tony Dorsett emerges from the doghouse in the second quarter. Cleveland and Kansas City, and that is a surprise with Kansas City leading 10-3. And Jane, how about the marathon? How'd that turn out?
Well, Brent, more than 2 million people lined the streets earlier to watch the New York Marathon. And one of those who was waiting at the finish line was Jack Whitaker. And now let's go to Jack with a report.
Welcome to Central Park in the city of New York on a beautiful autumn day and one of the greatest days this great city has ever seen. The 9th annual New York City Marathon is coming to an end. Bill Rogers about to win his 3rd consecutive title. In the women's division, a mystery lady. Number 1173 is leading at this point. We don't yet know her name. It all began at 10:30 this morning. 11,142 men, women, and children started running on the Staten Island side of the Verrazano Bridge. An incredible sight on this warm autumn morning. Every state in the Union except South Dakota was represented as these runners attempted the 26 miles, 385 yards of the marathon distance through the 5 boroughs of the city of New York. Over 1,100 women are competing. 1,458 lawyers, doctors, and dentists. 71-year-old Walter Stack of San Francisco. 9-year-old Howard Brynan of Connecticut. Runners from 28 countries, housewives, ballet dancers, and 4,800 people who have never run in a marathon before make up this joyous group who celebrate the biggest day that running, the sport of the 70s, has ever seen. We are looking down now at the finish line, the last 385 yards that they will run. As we told you, Bill Rogers, the defending champion, the record holder for this event, he took over the lead at the 8-mile mark along with Gary Bjorklund. Gary Bjorklund and he dueled until 15 miles, and now here he comes, all by himself, an exotic and joyous Bill Rogers, about to wrap up his 3rd consecutive New York City Marathon title. And listen to this crowd. All right, here we are with the winner, Bill Rogers, his 3rd straight, and you are Mr. New York right now.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to be that way, I'll tell you. It was very intense pace early in the race.
Wasn't it? Why was that? Because of the great competition?
Only one runner. Well, first Ian Thompson from England, and then Gary Bjorklund busted it wide open too early. And I knew that he was making a mistake. It was too early. And about 10 miles, he seemed to suddenly falter.
Well, that was from about 8 miles to 15 miles in that stretch. Were you right together?
Yeah, right around 13 miles, 10, 12 miles. And we decided, we told each other we'd run with each other for a little while. But then I knew that it was either, you know, if it had been later on, I would have considered tying with him. But this way, it looked like it might be risky to win, so I decided to go on ahead, you know.
Well, what you did was absolutely correct. Terrific, Bill. Congratulations. You are the hero of this country right now.
I'll be back next year.
Attaboy. Back to you now, Brent.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. Anybody from the weaker sex finish yet?
Well, he just said Rogers won.
I asked for that. Who was the fastest woman today, all right?
Greta Weiss was the fastest woman today, and she also set a record. She came in with a time of 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 12 seconds. And she had her very first try at running a marathon distance today.
Isn't that amazing? Hey, listen, down in Dallas, Newhouse, the running back, was involved in that Monday night game a couple of weeks ago. We're going to show you some footage up at station WBBM in Chicago, where Johnny Morris is. They did a very interesting thing. Look at Newhouse. He's the bottom setback. Do you see the mouthpiece dangling down? Well, they ran the tape of this game over and over and over again, and every time the mouthpiece was dangling down, Roger Staubach would throw the football. Now, here he is coming right at you. I know it is very difficult to see, but you see the mouthpiece is outside of the mouth at that point. And Roger went to the pass. Now, in the next sequence, it's inside the mouth. They go to a running play. Irv, could the Redskins have been reading that?
No question, Brent. You know, players have all sorts of peculiar habits in running plays or going out as pass receivers. If he did that, certainly would be a valid tip for the Redskin defense.
Then against St. Louis, Irv, they changed mouthpieces, and this one had to stay in permanently, so there was no chance for the Cardinals to read the plays off of what Robert Newhouse was doing. And the NFL today will continue on CBS. We're going to take you around the league and show you some highlights. We've got some good games working this afternoon after these messages from your local stations. Dallas can indeed pick up a full game because the Washington Redskins are going to lose this afternoon to the New York Giants. That game is now in the fourth quarter. This is earlier action. Pisarcik here finding Robinson, who beat the Redskins secondary clean. 7-0 after the point. Now watch Coder here. Dip and then come up. And that Giant offensive line is the most improved part of that team this year. 31 yards to the Washington 35. Danella field goal, 10-0. Everybody's got the flea flicker. This one's going back to Pisarcik, who goes downfield to James Thompson at the Skins' 4-yard line. And Pisarcik, this time faking inside, went to the outside where there was daylight. 17-6 right now, and it is all Giants, Irv.
Brent, taking a look at the Chicago Bears and Tampa Bay Buccaneers game down in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay leads that game by a score of 19-16. At about 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. This is second quarter action here. Young quarterback Doug Williams rolls to his right and hits Jim Obradovich on a nifty touchdown pass here, and Tampa took a 13-7 lead at this point. The Bears came back with a screen pass from Bob Avellini to Walter Payton. Of course, when Walter Payton has a football in his hands, he's just simply a work of art in action. Here he goes down inside the Tampa Bay 15-yard line, which set up a scoring opportunity for the Bears, and there it is. Roland Harper goes in, and Chicago took a 16-13 lead. Tampa Bay came back with a nifty run here by Johnny Davis. It goes down to the 7-yard line, and Doug Williams takes it in on a quarterback sneak, and Tampa Bay leads 19-16 with 9:55 left to go in the game.
Jimmy, in Bloomington, was that a field goal by
No, that was a touchdown for Minnesota.
Touchdown, Minnesota, and the extra point is now good, so they have just gone ahead of Green Bay 14-7, just seconds left in the first half of that game. Right now, we're going to send you back to the most dedicated play-by-play man we've got today.